Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth. This is Frizzy Lizzie Stitches, and this is Flosstube number 65? 65. Hello everyone. Today is September the 13th, I think, 2024, and it's Friday, and I'm here for a Flosstube update. It's been about 3 weeks since my last update, and I've actually worked on quite a few things, and then I also have haul today because I think in my last video I mentioned that I ordered some things but they hadn't come in yet, and they've come in, so I can show those to you. So we're gonna have some FFOs, some finished stitches, some whips, some knitting, and then like I said, we have haul that cover both cross stitch, sewing, and knitting. So lots to talk about today, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so actually I lied. Before we jump right in, I actually had a shout out that I wanted to give to my friend Maddie at Kitty Stitch because she just started her own Flosstube channel. So I've talked about Maddie a lot on my channel, and I always say you can Maddie at Kitty Stitch on Instagram, but now she's Maddie at Kitty Stitch on Flosstube as well. So I will have her linked in the description box. She has a couple of videos that she's put out so far, and I love Maddie. She's a wonderful friend, and she's really fun to watch her videos as well. So go check her out if you haven't already. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the unexpected. For me it was unexpected, but I actually fully finished a couple cross stitches. So the first one actually is my Midsummer stitch freebie from, I stitched this I think it was July that Midsummer stitch happened. But anyway, this is my fully finished object. Okay, I have lots of thoughts about this. I'll tell you the details first. So I stitched it, like I said, this was a freebie from Midsummer Stitch. I stitched it on, I believe this is 16 count, black Ada, and I used the called for DMC, and I finished it in this hoop. So that leads into my next part, which is I was going to film a how I finish things in a hoop video, and I did film it, but it did not go to plan like at all. So I had, I have done a finish like this before, and when I went to go finish this one, it just did not act quite the same way, and I don't really know what about it was different other than I used different like colors, and I mean really the biggest difference was probably that this is Ada and the other project that I did was linen, but I don't really think that would have made too big of a difference. But basically I finished it, and like you're probably like, oh yeah, that looks fine, but to me this looks terrible. So I tried to make a hoop butt like I did the first time I did a finish like this, and I used the inside hoop from the main hoop to trace out my circle to make my hoop butt with, and then I did all the rest of the finishing. And when I went to go put my hoop butt in, the first time I did this, it just snapped right in and it was perfect and it was done. This one did not snap in. It did not pop in. It was just a smidge too big. And so I actually recut did another hoop butt, but since I did it a little rogue, it's not quite a circle. Like you can tell it's like bulging a little right here. And it's, even though it was smaller and it fit, it still did not pop in like I was hoping for, because like I said, that's what happened the first time I did this. So I ended up having to actually glue it in, which I'm not the biggest fan of having to put glue on my cross stitch, but I did it. From the front it looks fine, and overall I'm happy with the finish. I did have a meltdown while I was doing the back, but it's really fine. So I do have the footage. I don't know, it started off great and then it got bad because I was getting really frustrated. So I don't know if that will ever see the light of day here on my channel, but I did finish it. I will continue to, next time I try to finish something in a hoop, I will try maybe again to do another take, but it is what it is. Sometimes like filming just like puts like me under this really unnecessary pressure, and I think I just psyched myself out a little bit maybe when things were not going the way I wanted them to go. But needless to say, it is fully finished. I think it looks really cute. The coordinating fabric matches the floss colors really well, and I'm really happy with how it turned out in the long term. Alright, so the other fully finished object, which was also like super unplanned, I kind of just did it because I felt like it, is StitchCon by Sue Hillis. So this was the StitchCon chart from 2022, which was my very first year going to StitchCon, and I finished this stitch, I believe, when did I finish this? I just wrote down my project. I didn't actually pull up the project page. Okay, I finished it in November of 2023, so almost a year ago. And yeah, so I fully finished it like last weekend. One day I spent lacing my project to the board, and then the next day I spent gluing my mounted cross stitch onto this horn book with some little rickrack trim. I think this color, it's Lady Dot Creates, and I think it's called Sizzle. And then the horn book, I'm not sure who makes it, but I purchased mine at StitchCon, and I know they do sell these at Keepsakes. So anyway, it's just a black, distressed looking wood horn book. So anyway, also super cute, and I'm glad to have another finish checked off my list of things to FFO. So that's exciting. I'm gonna kind of slide that in here as well. I thought this space looked really blank when I pulled up my camera to film, so I brought my Be So Awesome People Think You're a Myth from Stitcherovia. It's usually like over there, so I just brought it in to kind of help fill in the space here. But yeah, so those are my two FFOs. Alright, so now we have finishes. Let's see, this project is Citrus Biscornu by Satsuma Street, and this is what it's gonna look like. And the only reason I still show this is because it's a Biscornu, so I want you to see what the Biscornu is supposed to look like. This is what my stitching looked like last time I showed it to you. And then this is my finish. So obviously I haven't sewn it into a Biscornu yet, but I do have the top and bottom pieces fully finished with all the stitching and the back stitching, and now I just need to cut them out and sew them together. So that will probably, I'll get into plans later, but that's gonna be something that I hope to do between now and my next Flosstube update. But I just love the colors in this. I'm so excited to sew it up into the little pincushion. I think it's gonna be so fun. But yeah, not much else to say about it. Oh, I guess the fabric. It's 32 count Seraphim in the color Winter Woolens, and I used all the call for floss, 2/2. And yeah, and it does have the back stitch around the outside of both the top and the bottom, and that's how you construct the Biscornu, is by sewing those, like those are the loops that you'll sew through to connect it all. So anyway, I'm excited and looking forward to that. All right, so my next finish is really big. This is Deadly Aquarium by Lola Cross Stitch, and this is what it would have looked like in my last video. And so since then, all of the parts have been released, and I have finished my stitching, and here's what it looks like. So my fabric is 36 count Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers in the color Castle in the Sky, and I stitched everything 2/2 with the called for DMC, and I'm obsessed. I love it so much. It just came out beautifully. The last release was this crocodile and the little puffin on the sign that says beware of crocodile. And I will be honest, the crocodile was not my favorite to stitch because it was a lot of confetti, heavy like gray and green, and so I saved his mouth and his teeth for last, just to keep things fun and to have something to work towards. And then I did like the post of the sign and like around it, and then I skipped to the puffin, and then I went back and filled in the sign and then did the back stitch. And then I also popped in my initials right here and the year. So yeah, now that is fully, it's not fully finished, it's finished stitching. So yeah, I'm excited to get it in a frame. It is a little bit wider than Haunted Library, which you can see right there, and that's an 11 by 14 frame. So I don't know if, I haven't measured my stitching, but I think if I put it in 11 by 14, it'll be, there won't be too much margin on the sides, and I don't really know if that's the look I'm going for. So I might do a 12 by 16, but now that I say that out loud, there might not actually be enough width on the fabric to do that. So anyway, if I don't do a standard size frame, then I might get a custom one. I don't know, but I definitely like how my Haunted Library has quite a bit of margin around the entire project, and I would like to do that as much as I can for this one, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, I don't know when this will get framed. I have a lot of goals coming up into like the fall and the holiday season, so this might not get framed until early next year, but I'm so proud of myself for keeping up with the stitch along and kind of like finishing it on time, if you will. I will definitely be working on my Greenhouse of Oddities next, because that is my other Lola Crow stitch along that I did not finish, and I would like to get that finished before she comes out with her stitch along for next year, so we'll see. Alright, so now we're going to move into whips, which I have two. The first one I'll show you is what I was actually working on this morning, and I think I just lost a needle. We'll find it later. Anyway, this is Reflections of New Orleans. Yeah, Reflections of New Orleans by Ink Circles, and this is what it's going to look like. And then this is what it would have looked like in the last video, and this is what mine looks like now. This is just, I love this floss on this fabric. This is 36 count Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers in the color I Lilac You a Lot. And the floss is a Dinky Dyes silk in the color Aussie Gold. And I am stitching with 2 strands of floss over 2 linen threads. And it's just really pretty. It looks so good. I have passed the 50% mark, and I think I might be like 6% away from meeting my monthly goal for this. This is going to be a gift for my in-laws, and so I am trying to finish it by the end of November so I can get it framed early December and have it ready to be gifted for Christmas. And I'm on track, so go me. But I love how it's coming together. It just looks so cool. And I haven't, like, I know some people complain about these mandala type patterns of getting bored of stitching the same thing 4 times. I have not experienced that yet, but that might be because I'm not specifically going in quadrants. And I also am, like, I have these monthly stitch goals spelled out for myself, so once I meet that goal, I just put it away. And so it basically splits everything up in 20% increments. And it's like there's long enough times between when I'm working on it that I don't feel like bored of stitching it because of the pattern repeating. So anyway, that is Reflections of New Orleans. All right, my last whip that I worked on is my Carolyn Manning. And this is the Tentmaker Smalls February, which is one of her smaller charts. And this is what it looks like. And this is what it would have looked like in my last update, or the last time I showed it to you. And this is what mine looks like now. So it's getting kind of washed out because of the color of this fabric. That's a little better. It is like a very soft, like minty pistachio color, and it is from Fiber on a Whim, and it's 18 count Aida, and it's called Color Happens. And then I'm actually So the chart for this is interesting because the called for colors don't look anything like the cover photo. Like the called for colors are very much more like an autumn wine vibe, and I picked this originally because I really liked how it looked like strawberries or cherries or something like that. So I actually did do a conversion to make it look more like the cover photo, and so I'm not using the called for technically, but it is all DMC. So yeah. And then I am, how far am I on this? I've reached the 50% mark. And this is the like the final like border. So these little diamonds are the corners of the whole piece. So it is getting close. It's kind of crazy that this is only 50% because to me it looks like it's more than 50%. But there's really not much more stitching left. So I also have this one. I have goals like split out so that this will be finished, I think the same month that Reflections of New Orleans, or was it? Yeah, it'll be done in November. So yeah, anyway, that's what it's looking like. Alright, that is all of my cross stitch. I'm gonna move over to knitting now. And the first whip is actually kind of boring. I didn't make too much progress on it, but I did make some, so I figured I'd still show you. This is my Musselburgh hat. That's a pattern by Ysolda Teague. This yarn that I'm using is Big Sky Yarn Company, and it's called Down on the Farm. And this is what my hat is looking like. This yellow marker is where I was last time. So as you can see, I barely added like an inch of length to my hat. So definitely have a lot more to go, but I have been working more on my other knitting project, which I will show you now. And those are my grandma's socks. So these are socks that I'm knitting for my grandma, and I'm using the Crazy Sock Lady vanilla sock pattern, and I am doing kind of an in-between size. I'm doing like a medium. The medium is to cast on 64 and the small is to cast on 56. So I cast on 60 in hopes that this will be a good fit because me and my grandma have similar sized feet. But this yarn is from Yoshi and Lucy, and it's called Blue-Footed Booby. And this is how my sock is coming along. So I've gotten the leg and the heel flap, heel turn, picked up the gusset, and I'm already like halfway down the foot. So we're getting really close to finishing the first sock. I think it's really cool. It definitely, like, it's not a self-striping sock, but it definitely has a stripe look to it. And even in the heel, you can see that it kind of acted like a striping yarn would, and it made a very blocky, like, heel turn. And then, like, the front part of the foot right here ended up pulling a little bit differently. But I think it looks really cool. I'm not upset about it. So yeah. Anyway, once I finish this sock, I am putting markers on this sock because that's supposed to help you know how long to knit the second sock so that they're the same length. But on the off chance that I experience the same thing I did with my last pair, where my gauge might vary and I didn't know it, I'm still going to use the markers, but I am still going to use my sock ruler to measure them so that even if it is like a little bit bigger, the length of the foot should still be consistent. I don't know. Making socks is just like, there's lots to learn when you do it. So I'm definitely still learning like what my norm is. But the socks are going well, and I love knitting with the Yoshi and Lucy yarn. It's really nice. Okay, so that's my knitting. I think we can jump right into haul. I had purchased several things, and like I said in my last video, they hadn't come in the mail yet, but now they have. And so now it's been so long since I received them that I kind of forgot that I had them. So anyway, first up is my Stitch Me fabric of the month, and this is the August fabric, and I get 36 count linen, and this one is called Sandbar. And it's a very like blue, like cloudy looking fabric. So super pretty. Again, no idea what I will use it for, but I really like this one. I actually did cancel my fabric of the month club simply because I do have quite a stash now, and I'm getting to the point where if I don't have it in stash, then I can just buy a cut of whatever I need for whatever project. I don't need to keep accumulating more fabric. So I did cancel that club, so you won't see any more fabric clubs from me, but obviously that's not going to stop me from buying fabric. So anyway, this is my last Stitch Me Fabric of the Month club for now. Alright, to stay on the theme of cross stitch, I had placed a 1, 2, 3 stitch order because my friends and I are doing a Galentine's swap, which I'll talk about in plans. And anyway, I ordered my chart from 1, 2, 3 Stitch, and I didn't want to order just the chart, so I also ordered some Mill Hill kits. So I'll save my favorite for last. But I picked up 3 of them. So this one is Tomato Pincushion, and my friend Maddie actually bought this on a trip. She went somewhere and bought this at a local needlework shop where she visited. And anyway, so we're planning to start this together sometime soon, but I love this one. And then the second one I got is this Monarch Butterfly, which is super cute. I love that. And then my favorite, which I'm probably most excited about, is the Rubber Ducky. He's so cute. So I'm super excited about all 3 of those. Like I said, I probably will be stitching this one with Maddie soon, but don't really have immediate plans for the others. And then let's see, so I bought some fabric. I bought this Barbie Fat Quarter Bundle. This is distributed by Riley Blake Designs, and anyway, it had oh, I don't even know how many fat quarters in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So there's 18 fat quarters in here, ranging from pink to teal, and they're so freaking cute. You can kind of, so we have like a stripe where it says Barbie, and then along some of the stripes has some Barbie dolls. There's this fabric, which is like a bunch of Barbies all like lined up in their different outfits. And then there's like a gingham, there's one that has Kens on it. And then this one like with the little Mattel like pokey, like stripey, or what's the word I'm looking for? Like a star circle? I don't know. But anyway, it has like a bunch of emblems of the Barbies. And then that repeats on the like cream and pink colored fabrics. But I bought this because my plan is to make a Tiger Lily project keeper with this beautiful Barbie fabric. So I also bought a couple of the By Annie's like purse zippers because I wanted the ones with like the dangly zipper pull on them. So these are 24-inch zippers, and the pink isn't quite the same as the pink in this fabric, but I'm not beat up about it. I'll just make sure that I sew the zipper to a fabric that's not hot pink. But anyway, so I'm excited for that. Don't know when I'll do it, but I did buy the pattern and I did buy the Fat Quarter Bundle, and my reason for wanting a Barbie themed one is because I'm gonna take my I'm Just Ken pattern and attach it to the front of the project keeper, similar to how Tiger Lily puts the vintage stitching on her project keepers that she sells. So that's kind of my inspiration, and we will see whenever it comes to fruition, but I am excited for the prospects of doing that. All right, and then the last thing I ordered is still in plastic, so I'm gonna take that out really quick. Okay, so I placed an order with Ruby and Roses, which is arguably my favorite yarn dyer at the moment anyway, and she was restocking her Taylor Swift yarn as well as coming out with 2 brand new Taylor Swift yarns. And so, you know me, I love Ruby and Roses and I love Taylor Swift, so I had to get the yarn. So the first one that I got is a sock set, and this is her Lover colorway, which actually was part of a Lover box, and there were 2 full skeins in that box. One was Lover and the other one was Lover Addie's version. And when she came out with her like pre-order for Taylor Swift yarn, the Lover Addie's version was part of that collection, but this one was not. So I was really excited that she brought this for sale outside of that Lover Box. And then the little mini skein that's with it is called Love Note. And they just look so pretty together. So I'm really excited about that. So soft. And then the second one that I got is a brand new color that she recently came out with, and it's called Fake It Till You Make It, which is based off of the I Can Do It With a Broken Heart song from Taylor's newest album. And again, I'm so excited. I love how speckly it is down here, like these dark blues, and there's like a bunch of, like, there's like hot pink on this side. So I'm also excited for this one. I don't know, like, I know this is a sock set, but that doesn't mean it has to be socks, so they probably will be, but right now I just wanted to add them to my collection, so I guess I'm that person now. Alright, so that is all my haul. I'm gonna get into plans after I take a quick water break. Okay, so plans. I kind of just like listed out a bunch of stuff that I had going on in my brain. It's not really in any particular order, so I'm gonna kind of do it on the fly. But the first one I see is to FFO my citrus Biscornu, and I did mention that earlier. I don't have any like solid deadlines, but I think it would be nice if I could get it done before my next video, just so it's not sitting around forever. And then also I mentioned earlier a Galentine's swap. So me and the girlies are doing a little Valentine's Day like smalls exchange. And our smalls aren't necessarily Valentine's themed, but we went ahead and like used this website to like draw names so that none of us know who each other got, and we're planning to send them like the first week of February, just before Valentine's Day. So I picked out my pattern, and I haven't started on it yet, but I think I have everything I need in stash to be able to stitch it. So I'm really excited about that. And then I also wanted to kit up my next Lizzie Kate seasonal stitch. So if you've been here around this year, you will have seen that I have stitched the Lizzie Kate Spring and Lizzie Kate Summer. And so next up obviously would be Autumn. So I went ahead and kitted this up last weekend, and I'm doing all of them on 32 count vintage country mocha from Zweigart. And these are the colors that I picked for Autumn. So I actually like pulled little swatches of all the called for colors, and then I kind of just pulled out my color and cotton stash to see what would kind of look the best to match up with it. And I'm super excited with how all of these colors look together. I think it's super pretty, very autumnal, but also still like super colorful, which is definitely my vibe. So I will be starting this hopefully soon. I want to get it done this month, so probably need to start it this weekend or next. But yeah, so that is in the plans to be stitched up soon. And then let's see, so the last two are kind of like just ideas. So I guess the first one is I have, like, will have heard me say already that I have divided up my stitching for some of my projects so that I can finish them this year. And that is true for not only the couple that I've showed you today, but also for, I guess, like 2 others, which would be I'm Just Ken and Positivity Lifts. And then I have a variety of smalls, like the autumn smalls, the winter one, and then I have like a couple ornaments that I want to stitch and things like that. So basically I have 4 projects on my whip list right now that I have divided up the stitching for, so that I will finish it either in November or December of this year. And then I also have a variety of smalls picked out to stitch. So I have plans. None of it involves starting new things unless it's the small. So I'm really in a let's finish as much as we can before the end of the year kind of mindset right now. So we'll see how it goes. So far it's going pretty good because I have been very strategic with how much, like I've been looking at how much I have been able to stitch per month, and then looking at how many stitches are left and dividing it up and seeing if that's actually a reasonable goal to try to meet. And so I've had a lot of fun being a little nerd about all of that. So yeah, anyway, I have I already finished my goal this month for Tentmaker Smalls. I'm almost done with my goal for Reflections of New Orleans, and then I'll just have 2 more projects left on my like goal list that I need to check off, and then that in my book will make September a successful stitchy month. And then the other thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately has been my full coverage. So I really enjoy watching Crafty Gaming Jamie, and she almost exclusively stitches full coverage pieces, and she has like way more than I could ever imagine stitching, but it's so fun to watch her not only stitch them but also hear her talk about her plans for stitching them. And so it's just really got me thinking about my full coverage and how I want to be able to dedicate more time to it so I can actually finish it, because there's one project that she started recently called Rose Library that I really am interested in stitching, but it's really big. It's bigger than Sweetheart Campfire, and obviously Sweetheart Campfire has not made it very far. So if I ever want to stitch that, then I'm gonna have to like be more consistent stitching on the full coverage that I do have. So probably not this year, because like I said a few minutes ago, like I already kind of have planned out what I'm going to be stitching for the rest of the year. But in the new year, I think I would really like to make a better effort to stitch on my full coverage more often, like at least put in a few stitches every month. I haven't stitched on my full coverage since the beginning of this year, and even then it was only like less than 1,000 stitches. So I really want to try to make a more conscious effort to stitch on it more often. So I don't know if that's going to mean like stitching on it 1 day a week, or just trying to get like 1,000 stitches a month or something, just to like pull it, just to have a reason to pull it out and be encouraged to pull it out, rather than just like seeing it over here on the floor like, oh, I'll get to it when I'm done with all this other stuff. So anyway, that's been on my mind lately. We'll see what comes out of it. All right, and that's kind of all of my plans for now. Oh, I didn't mention, I actually did start cutting shirts for my sister's t-shirt quilt. So that's another thing that I have going on in the background, but I don't have anything to show for it quite yet. So anyway, that is still happening. And I did actually start it, so. But yeah, so other than that, we're gonna move into what I've been up to. Some things I've already mentioned, like I've attempted to film an FFO tutorial for my Midsummer Stitch freebie, but like I said, I don't really know if I'm going to end up posting that or not, because I'm not quite sure how I feel about the outcome of like the ending. So yeah, we'll see. But it's been fun to fully finish something, because I feel like I do get so like tunnel vision when it comes to like getting the cross stitches finished, but not necessarily finishing like fully, or the finished cross stitch. So it was nice to take a break and have 2 FFOs in the past couple weeks. So, but yeah, and then other than that, like I've pretty much just been, you know, doing my normal work stuff. I actually have been super nerding out with my Notion and adding even more databases to it, because I just really enjoy that. It's part of the hobby for me. So I actually started a Fancy Floss database, and so I have, as of this moment, have added in every single Classic Colorworks, Weeks Dye Works, and Gentle Arts into a Notion database, including their pictures, and also connecting it to the DMC database so that I can see which colors are most similar to each other. And it is definitely something I will share with the world, but I'm still trying to work out all the kinks and trying to make sure that it is exactly how I want it to be before I share it with everybody. So definitely, you can definitely expect another Notion video from me this holiday season. I have put out 2 so far, and honestly, just looking back at the one I put out last year, my Notion has grown like exponentially since then. So it definitely is going to take a little bit more time for me to film that video and share what I've done to my Notion with you, because I've just made it so extremely detailed, and it could be overwhelming if it's your first time or if you don't know anything about Notion. So anyway, this would definitely be more for my Notion girlies who already are familiar with everything. But I am really excited about it, and like I said, it is basically another piece of the hobby for me, and I've been excited to nerd out about it. Alright, so I'm going to move into reading, watching, playing, which I have been playing a little bit of Animal Crossing, and then that's kind of it for playing. But as far as reading goes, I finished a book called The No Girlfriend Rule. I listened to this on an audio like last weekend or the weekend before, and it's such a cute book. It's a YA, like, I guess it's technically a romance, but like to me it's more about like self-discovery and a little bit of coming of age. It was like, and it's also one of those YA books that isn't like cringy to read as an adult, just because, I don't know, it's like you're getting to observe, and almost it feels more relatable than anything. So anyway, it's basically about this girl, and she really wants to play D&D, but her boyfriend plays D&D, and she really wants to play with them, but the other guys in their group have this no girlfriend rule where she's not allowed to play with them because they don't want girlfriends in their D&D group. And so she ends up like going to a local game store and like trying to play with people there, but it's not really a great fit. And she ends up finding an ad for like an all-girls D&D group, and she takes a chance and she emails the email and express interest, and so she ends up playing with these girls. And it's just really special it was really special to read because I've actually started playing D&D, and so I kind of related to like never having played before and like being nervous about playing, and then also the part about it that also was really heartwarming is how like throughout the book she kind of learns about how to be her own person and develop her own interest, and you know, like actually have friends that have the same interests as her. And so it was just a really good book, and I highly recommend it. The audiobook was great if you're wanting to listen to it, but yeah, it was a really good one. And I can't remember who the author is, but I will have had the book cover on the screen while I'm talking about it, so you will know. But yeah, so I read that, and then I also started another audiobook for I guess it's like the fourth book, technically the 3.5 book for ACOTAR. So this is the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and this one that I just started is A Court of Frost and Starlight. So it's the book in between Mist and Fury and Silver Flames. And I don't know, probably only halfway through that audiobook, but I like it so far. I already know the characters because it's a series that I've read, so I'm excited to see what happens and let it segue into the final book. So, and then I also watched Queen Charlotte, which is kind of like the spin-off of the Bridgerton TV show / book series. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Queen Charlotte is purely written for TV. I don't think it was based off of a book. I think it's just based off the characters in the books. But it was really great. I loved it. I literally binged it. I think this was maybe a couple weekends ago. I watched the entire season in like 2 or 3 days. And I really loved it. It was great. So I don't know. I know they've teased about when they're going to be coming out with the next season of Bridgerton, but I don't know when that's going to be, but I just know actually I already forgot his name. It's not the oldest brother. And then oh no. Why have I forgotten his name? Benedict? Is his name Benedict? I think it is. Anyway, I think it's Benedict's story. He's kind of like the artsy one. But anyway. So whenever that comes out, I'll be eating that up. But I did watch Queen Charlotte, and I did love it. So, but yeah, I don't have anything else on my little show notes. So that's all I have for you today. I'm very proud of how much I was able to accomplish in the past 3 weeks. And it just makes me excited for what else I can accomplish for the rest of the month. So anyway, I hope you're having a great day. Hope you get to stitch today, and I hope you have a great day, night, evening, wherever you are. I'll see you next time. Bye.